The Joker might just be the most successful villain of the 21st century. Obviously, the verdict isn't out yet, but just look at the numbers. The movie Joker was the first R-rated movie in history to reach over 1 billion in box office earnings. The Dark Knight also earned over 1 billion, which puts it in the top 100 highest grossing films ever. There's a lot of interest in the Joker, so let's take a look at the Dark Knight's version of him. To start things off, the Joker doesn't have a unified story of origin. And as Suicide Squad proved, the details of the character can vary widely, but there are few consistencies. If his childhood or background is mentioned, then he's a guy from the bottom of the society whose childhood was a tragedy. The Dark Knight Joker had a father who was a violent alcoholic.
Me watching, he takes the knife to her, laughing while he does it. He turns to me and he says, "Why so serious?" He comes at me with the knife. "Why so serious?" He sticks the blade in my mouth. "Let's put a smile on that face."
His childhood might have been a little hectic, but instead of succumbing to the chaos, he embraced it. In The Dark Knight, the Joker is in his prime. He's all about chaos.
I'm an agent of chaos.
Chaos is what he creates all throughout the movie, from messing with the mob to playing out a social experiment on the ferries. Chaos is a special state of affairs. If you think about it, it's antithetical to life. Psychology 101. People like order much more than they like chaos. The world's most famous psychologist, Jordan Peterson, famously gives his clean your room advice. Half of his psychological advice is aimed at reducing chaos and increasing order in your life. The tricky bit with chaos is that we need it, but not too much. Too much chaos and you die in an unexpected way. Too much order and you'll die in an expected way. The balance between order and chaos isn't equal though. You don't want your life to be 50% chaos and 50% order. You want like 95% order and 5% chaos, and you want to control where those 5% are. The Joker creates chaos everywhere. If the Joker is creating chaos, a state we don't really like, then why are we so interested in the Joker? Why is Joker reaching for chaos? Movies can be more than just a trivial form of entertainment. They are the modern equivalent of Iliad, Epic of Gilgamesh, the Bible, and so on. Movies present a myth. They present a certain way of being in the world. In The Dark Knight, we get to see how a person can not just go through chaos, but actively seek it and enjoy it. Joker is like a monk. He has no earthly possessions. He burned down a pile of money. That just shows how little he cares about wealth. He isn't attached to a relationship either. He's not even attached to his own life. He's one enlightened individual. As Alan Watts said, what causes all of our misery is trying to fix a world that's falling apart. In a funny way, the Joker is showing what Eastern monks have tried to show for thousands of years. If you learn to live an unattached life, then you'll be that much more happier.
You have nothing to threaten me with, nothing to do with all your strength.
What Alan Watts also said, if you're falling off a precipice of a cliff, there's no point in holding on a rock that's falling with you. The Joker has realized the true state of reality. Everything's falling apart. And if everything's falling apart, then there's nothing to hold on. The Joker can enjoy chaos because he's not attached to the existing state of affairs. He goes with the moment and he just
Do things.
The Joker has a real disdain towards unearned virtue.
See, their morals, their code. It's a bad joke. Dropped at the first sign of trouble. They're only as good as the world allows them to be.
Societies reward virtuous behavior in order to encourage more of it. There's a reward for being virtuous. Therefore, you get the virtuous signalers. Virtue in its true meaning is strength, from Latin virtus, masculine strength. If you really possessed a virtue, you wouldn't need to brag about it in order to benefit from it. It's a reward in itself. Bruce Wayne is just fine with fighting for justice without ever needing to get back anything for it. Justice in him is a true virtue. But if the virtue in question is somehow phony, then the only good you can achieve from it is social credit. The Joker, by creating chaos, puts people in a position where they can show their virtue or lack of it. The Joker is here to highlight the phonies. And who doesn't love it when the phonies are shown to be phonies? Last but not least of Joker's identity is his Robin Hoodness. He aims to upset the existing socioeconomic hierarchy.
Introduce a little anarchy. Upset the established order, and everything becomes chaos.
That's where his Robin Hoodness begins, and that's where it ends. He has no interest in enriching the poor. He just aims to upset the existing order. The funny thing about being on the bottom is that the only direction is up. If given change the only possible direction is positive, then getting change sounds like a great idea. There are only 3 consistent ways to reduce wealth inequality and by proxy socioeconomic inequality: war, natural disasters, or a revolution. What all of these ways do is introduce so much chaos in the society that the points of stress break and change occurs. The Joker is the perfect villain for the 21st century, since he points to the major problems of our times. The world is becoming more chaotic. Geopolitical power shifts, new hierarchies are trying to form, technologies change faster than ever. With the advent of the social media, there's more fake virtue than ever before. To top it all off, the distance between the richest people and the average fella has increased beyond reason. The reason we're so interested in the Joker is because he's not afraid to point to the problems and, more crucially, the solution. The world's falling apart? Embrace the process of change. All of us could live better lives if we learned to live with more uncertainty. Of course, the Joker goes too far, but he does it so that you wouldn't have to.
And why so serious?